हॅलो डोले, आवाज येतोय का? डोले डोले डोले, आवाज येतोय का? शेख, हो येतोय ना? ओके ओके. शेख, you are joining at the first time, I think. Okay.
हो सर.
Yes, you are joining at the first time.
हो सर, तुमचं लेक्चर आज
हा
पहिल्यांदाच
हा हा.
करते.
तुझं ऍडमिशन प्रोसेस पूर्ण झाली का?
हो झाली सर.
ओके. Just will wait for few minutes till some students will join. So today we will start with the new topic. Already we are completed two topics. First topic is the mechanics of a particle and system of particles. The second topic which we completed is about the Lagrangian formulation. And in the Lagrangian formulation, we are studied the Lagrangian equations and its applications, D'Alembert's principle, all those things which we are studied. And today we will start with the new topic. I think it is the topic number 4. Instead of topic number 3, we are starting topic number 4 because the topic number 4 is similar to that of topic number 2, Lagrangian formulation, and topic number 4 is techniques of calculus of variation, which is Hamiltonian formulation. So there is some what analogy between Lagrangian formulation and Hamiltonian formulation. So instead of topic number 3, we will start with the topic number 4. That is topic number 4. The title of the topic is techniques of calculus of variation. Techniques of calculus of variations. Now here, in the Lagrangian formulation, which we are studied the virtual displacement. Whenever we are applying some force on a body and there is no displacement of that body, then the particles of the body is getting a very small displacement, that is infinite small displacement, and that small displacement that we called as virtual displacement. So the Lagrangian formulation in which we are dealing about the virtual displacement of particles of a system. So that formulation, Lagrangian formulation, is also called as a differential formulation, or Lagrangian equation is also called as a differential equation, and Lagrangian formulation is called a differential formulation. Remember it very well, because in the examination there is always a question. The Lagrangian formulation is called as, then the options are differential, integral, calculus, all the options are there, but you remember that the Lagrangian formulation is a differential formulation. And here we will study Hamiltonian formulation. In this Hamiltonian formulation, in which we study motion of some particle or a body, and whenever a body move from point 1 to 2, if this is point 1 and this is take the position 2, it means when a particle or a body is moving from one place to another place, it traces out some curve, some path. Now, this path which describes the motion of a body. If body is moving from one place to another place, and if you know it's a path, then the path gives us the nature of motion of a given body. If that body is moving from one to two like this, it may move from this like this. Means in order to move from point 1 to 2, a body can take any path which is available for it. So, in this type of motion, here from point 1 to 2, when that body moves, this is entire motion of a body. Entire motion, it is the complete motion of a body from point 1 to 2. That is called as entire motion. And in the entire motion, we study the nature of curve followed by a body in moving from place 1 to 2. And such type of study of motion of a particle or a body is studied in the Hamiltonian formulation. Now, in this case, when a body moves from place 1 to 2, then that path, this is point 1, this is point 2, this path is the summation of small elements. Means that body which traces out a path which is consisting of small elements. That is, path is divided into large number of sections. It means overall path which is followed by a body is the summation of all these small paths, small segments. So that here we are taking the addition of the segments in order to get the entire path. So that this type of study of motion is done in the Hamiltonian formulation. So that Hamiltonian formulation is also called as integral formulation. Integral formulation in which we study the instantaneous state of a body. Instantaneous state means the position of a body at a particular point or particular time. Instantaneous. In the first 1 minute, the body will be here. In the second minute, it may be in the next position. In fifth minute, it will take another position. It means whenever the body is in motion, it takes new positions. After some time, it takes some time for the taking of new position. So, in all these, which gives us the instantaneous path or instantaneous motion of a body is studied in the Hamiltonian formulation. Therefore, this Hamiltonian formulation is also called as integral formulation. Remember it very well. That type of question is asked in the examination. The Hamiltonian formulation is also called as integral formulation. In the Lagrangian formulation, that is also called as differential formulation, and Hamiltonian formulation is called as integral formulation. Now, the Lagrangian formulation is denoted by the letter L, and it is given by the difference of kinetic energy and potential energy. Lagrangian formulation is the difference of kinetic energy and potential energy. So this is the Lagrangian formulation. But Hamiltonian formulation is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. It is the sum. Hamiltonian formulation or function, Hamiltonian function is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. And Lagrangian formulation is the difference of kinetic energy and potential energy. Remember it. Here we are taking the difference, here we are taking the summation. So Hamiltonian formulation is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. And it is denoted by letter H. H is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now, in this topic, we'll study the different types of paths which are followed by a body moving from place one to place another. Now, how many paths are possible for a body in moving from one place to another place? How many number of? If we want to go from Sangala to Pandharpur, how many paths are possible? We can go to Pandharpur via Khardi, Bamni, Manjri, Khardi. We can go to Pandharpur via Andalgaon, Mangalore, Pandharpur. We can go to Pandharpur via Waki, Sivni, Mahut, Pandharpur. There are roads, but a large number of paths are possible. Large number of paths are possible for moving a body from place 1 to 2. If this is place 1.1 and this is 2 in the xy plane, that body is moving in the xy plane. Then from 1 to 2, in moving from point 1 to 2, or we can denote these points as A and B. If these are the point A, the body is moving from point A, and that body has to reach the point B, then how many paths are possible for a body? That is, this is one path. This is one path from A to B, which is straight line path. That body can move from like this. This is one. It can move like this. This is one. This is second. This is third. So large number of paths are possible. It can move like this. So large number of paths are possible. But Hamilton's principle states that a body which is in motion will take that path for which the time of transition is minimum. Means of all possible paths, a dynamical system, dynamical means a system which is in motion. That is called a dynamical system. A dynamical system may select that path for which time of transition is minimum. For which path time will be minimum? The path time will be minimum for this path number 1, because it is the shortest path, straight line path, which is the shortest path. It will take minimum time. Minimum time will be for the shortest, for the straight line path. So Hamilton's principle states that a dynamical system will select that path for which time of transition is minimum. Time of transition means time for moving from place 1 to 2. 1 to 2. That is time of transition. That should be minimum. That is the Hamilton's principle. Now, whenever system is moving from place 1 to 2, that type of motion is due to some kind of force. Some kind of force. Whenever we want some type of motion, force should be there. Without force, how motion is possible? Now our earth is moving around the sun. Due to which force? Due to gravitational force. Due to gravitational force between sun and earth. The planets are revolving around the sun due to their gravitational forces. Artificial satellites are also moving around the earth. There is also a force between satellite and earth. Gravitational force is there. So all these forces are useful in order to have some kind of motion. If there is a motion of a body with a single type of force, if there is a system and that system is moving under the action of single type of force, forces are different. Forces are different. Some forces keeps the motion, translational motion. Some forces keeps the motion, that is rotational motion. Whenever there is a motion of a system with a single force, then that type of system, that is called as monogenic system. Monogenic, when force there is a single force. Single type of force causes the motion. Single type of force when causes the motion, then that type of motion is called monogenic motion or monogenic system. When that system takes the motion under the action of a single force. Remember it very well. That type of question is also asked in the examination. Whenever the body or a system takes the motion under the action of a single type of force, only one type of force, then it is called a monogenic system. It is called monogenic system. So all these parts are possible. Now the techniques of calculus of variation, it is the meaning here. Calculus of variation. Here variation is there, and here we have to calculate the variation, type of variation. So for the calculation of variation, we make uses some techniques. Now the line integral of a system which is moving from place 1 to 2, that is given by the line integral is given by g, which is moving from 1 to 2 within the time interval t1 to t2. Then that line integral, which is the function of line integral, which is the function of L dt. L, that is Lagrangian. Line integral is given by J is equal to L dt. This T1 to T2 here, the motion of the system takes place between the time interval T1 and T2. So it is L dt. Here L is the Lagrangian function. Now this Lagrangian function is related with the coordinates qi, generalized coordinate, it is generalized coordinate qi dot qi, generalized coordinate qi dot generalized velocity and time. L is having the coordinates, position coordinates, velocity coordinates and time. qi dot and dt. Now this line integral is having the value extremum. The meaning of extremum, extreme, either minimum or maximum. That is called extremum. Extreme, lowest possible value, highest possible value. That is called extreme value, extreme. So this line integral is having extremum value, and the variation of this line integral is 0. The variation of line integral will be 0 because it has the extremum values. Extremum values are the lowest possible value and highest possible value. So lowest and highest possible values are fixed values. So the variation of line integral is taken here, 0 here, and therefore now we have to use the coordinates in Hamiltonian formulation. We have to take the Hamiltonian formulation or Hamiltonian function in terms of position coordinates, velocity coordinates, and time coordinates. So that function or that line integral is given by G is given x1 to x2 f of their y I dot x. Here y I dot and x. These are the position coordinates, velocity coordinates, and time coordinates. Here, instead of using generalized coordinates, we are using Cartesian coordinates. Now, in the Hamiltonian formulation, we are just studied that the system when it moves from 1 to 2, then it takes different paths. There are large number of paths are possible for the motion from position 1 to 2. All these possible paths are labeled by the parameter alpha. We are using here parameter alpha. Alpha is a parameter. It is a parameter labeled for all possible paths. It is labeled for all possible paths. Alpha is a parameter labeled for all possible paths. So this alpha. Again, we are using here auxiliary function neta. We have to use here neta. Neta is auxiliary function. Auxiliary function. What is that auxiliary function? Whenever we are taking 2 points, 2 positions, the path or the space between these 2 positions is auxiliary, like an auxiliary slit. You know, auxiliary slit we are using in the experiment. Diffraction due to grating. Diffraction due to grating. We are using auxiliary slit. So auxiliary means some space between the 2 points. Now this auxiliary function at point 1 and 2 vanishes. It will not having any value. At point 1, the auxiliary function is 0. At point 2, the auxiliary function is 0. It means it can have the value in between the 2 points. Auxiliary function is having the values in between the 2 points. But at these 2 points, extreme points, the value of that function is 0. Value is 0. Now, we can differentiate this function with respect to alpha. That is, we can write dou g by dou alpha into d alpha is equal to dou f by dou yi into dou yi by dou alpha plus dou f by dou yi dot into dou yi dot by dou alpha. Now, dou f by dou x is 0 here. Dou f by dou x, that function is 0. So we take only this is the function. Then instead of writing this yi and all these things we can write. For all these things, we can write take a single operator. That is, we are using here delta G notation. We can use your notation delta G is equal to integration x1 to x2. Where integration is in limits x1 to x2. Then dou f by dou y by alpha. Yeah, right. Only y and don't write y dot yi. Instead of right, we can write dot dou y dot by dou alpha into dx. Now this is the equation. Now that equation we can solve. We can solve this equation. For that, we'll take the last term. Take last term. What is that term? Integration x1 to x2 dou f by dou y dot into dou y dot by dou alpha into dx. Here y dot. What is that y dot? Y dot is nothing but it is dy by dx. Y dot is nothing but dou y by dou x. Dou y by dou x. It is simply dou y by dou x. So we can write this equation as it is equal to integration x1 to x2 dou f by dou y dot into dou by dou alpha. Y dot is here dou y by dou x into dx. We can write the value of y dot, that is dou y by dou x. Dou y by dou x. Now this equation is consisting of two terms. This is one term, this is second term. So this is term number 1. This is number 2. Then we can use the integration by parts rule. Integration by parts rule. What that rule is? If there are two functions, then what is the rule of integration for such type of functions? The rule is that if we are having these two functions, u v are the two functions, u and v, then it is taken as first function as it is into the derivative of second, integration of second, that is first term as it is, integration of second, minus double integration of second and derivative of first. Derivative of first. First term as it is, integration of second, minus double integration of second, derivative of first. That is the rule of integration by parts. So first function as it is, for this equation, we can apply this rule here. What that rule is? Here, first term as it is, that is dou f by dou y dot as it is. Integration of second, that is dou by dou alpha, dou y by dou x, dx. Integration of x1 to x2 minus double integration of second dou by dou alpha, dou f by dou x into derivative of first, that is d by dx of dou f by dou y dot into dx. Then it is out of screen, so I will just move like this. Then dou f by dou y dot, here we can write this equation as x1 to x2 dou by dou x of dou y by dou alpha. It is a partial derivative. It is a partial derivative. So we can write like dou by dou x of dou y by dou alpha into dx. minus double integration of x1 to x2, double integration of x1 to x2, we can write as dou by dou x of dou f by dou alpha into d by dx of dou by dou y by into dx. Now here dou y by dou alpha, dou y by dou alpha, which is the change of y with respect to alpha. Alpha is a parameter which is labeled for possible path. So this alpha is the auxiliary function, that is neta x, auxiliary function. And this auxiliary function, for these limits, it vanishes. The auxiliary function vanishes at the extreme points. So this first integration vanishes at the extreme points. The value of this all this term is 0. And the second, we can take the integration of this as d by dx of dou f by dou alpha. So the integration of this will be integration. Here we are taking the derivative of that. So integration will be dou f by dou alpha. So it will be x1, x2, dou f by dou alpha, dou f by dou alpha. This into d by dx of dou f by dou y by into dx. Now we have having the first equation. Is the first equation, that is delta g. Delta g is nothing but that is integration of dou f by dou y by dou alpha plus dou f by dou y by dou alpha into dx. And this equation we can write dou f by dou y, that is written as dou by dou alpha of dou by dou alpha of. That equation we can write in this form: dou f by dou y and dou y by dou alpha. So here we are having dou f by dou alpha, dou f by dou alpha, which is auxiliary function. So here we can write also dou f by dou alpha. That equation can also be written as, here we can write dou square, we can write dou f by the initial function. So we will go to the initial function. Initial function we are taking here the line integral j. J is taken as integration 1 to 2. That is f of y dot x and dx. This is our line integral. This is our line integral. And that line integral, we can write it's a variation as dou f by dou y into dou y by dou alpha. Dou f by dou y into dou y by dou alpha. Now this dou f by dou y alpha, we can write in this form. Our line integral can be written as dou f by dou y into dou y by dou alpha plus dou f by dou y dot dou y by dou y dot dou y dot by dou alpha into dx. This is our equation. This is our equation. Now this equation, that equation in which we have taken the last term. That last term is dou f by dou y dot into dou y dot by dou alpha. The value of this term is this. The value of this term is this. That is dou f by dou alpha, and that value of the last term, we can put this value in our equation. That value can be kept into our equation, so that our equation becomes dou f by dou y and dou y by dou alpha. We can use that value here, this value in this equation. So the equation will be integration x1 to x2 dou f by dou y into dou y by dou alpha in minus, this value is minus, it is dou f by dou alpha, dou f by dou alpha into dx by dx of dou f by dou y dot, dou y dot into dx. The value is kept in this equation. The value is kept in this equation. Therefore, this dou f by dou y, dou y by dou alpha, this equation in which we are having the variation of the line integral on the left hand side, and the variation of line integral, I have told you, it is 0. The value of that variation of line integral is 0, so that this integration can be taken as, this integration can be taken as dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot. This is taken as 0. The value of this function is 0. So that minus sign, we can multiply this by minus sign, so it will be dy dx of dou f by dou y dot minus dou f by dou y is equal to 0. The last of equation we are getting here is dy dx of dou f by dou y dot. It is y dot. It is y dot. Dou by dou x of dou f by dou y dot minus dou f by dou y is equal to 0. This is our last equation. So this last equation, that equation that is called Euler's-Lagrange's equation. Euler's-Lagrange's equation. And this equation, which is very useful for the study of various applications. It is useful for study of applications. This is our Euler's-Lagrange's equation. And we have to use this equation for various applications. How to use this for various applications? This equation can be used for various applications. The first application here, I have told you the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Whenever we take 2 points, so this is one point, this is another point. Then the shortest distance between these 2 points will be a straight line. 1 to 2. Straight line distance will be the shortest distance. And here we have to prove this. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. We have to prove. How to prove? We will take the 2 points in the space. So we are having these 2 points, 1 to 2. Then the distance between these 2 points is ds. This coordinate is dx. This coordinate is dy. Then ds square is equal to dy square plus dx square. Dx square. It is a right angle triangle. So that we can write this equation as ds square is equal to this.